right, listen to me very carefully, gentlemen. If you can hit these 4 psychological triggers, that girl will break every rule in the book for you. She will chase you, she will crave you, and she will not even understand why she's doing it. Even if you're 30 years older than her, or you got a dad bod, or your bank account is in the red, listen to me, gentlemen, it will not matter, okay? These are the exact psychological triggers that will make even the most high status, the most drop-dead gorgeous women chase after men twice their age. And no, it's not about the money, gentlemen. It's not about your looks. It's not about playing nice here. You can be rocking that dad bod, you could have the receding hairline or have the bad knees, but if you know how to press these 4 emotional triggers in a younger woman, you will bypass her logical brain completely. You will shut down all of her resistance like flipping a light switch. And the reason that I know this works is because I've spent the better part of the last 2 decades coaching men through the battlefield of dating and attraction. We're talking about thousands of conversations, going on hundreds of dates, years of field testing to figure this out. So you can learn it in the next 3 minutes. And it really wasn't until the last couple of years when I saw how all of these triggers came together and worked in synergy with one another. And when they hit the girl in the right particular order, it's literally game over at that point. She's going to look at you like you are the only man in the world. And instead of ghosting you or treating you like you're invisible, she will cancel all of her plans just to see you again. And if you stick to the end of this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you one trigger that I almost didn't even include in the video, that by itself is so damn powerful that on its own, it can flip a woman's world upside down. I'm gonna be honest with you, I shouldn't even be sharing this one, and we will get to it soon enough. You just gotta promise me you are not going to abuse this. You are only going to use these for good. All right, now I need to show you something really important. This is where most men absolutely blow it without even realizing it. This is where men butcher their chances with women. And they butcher it because they're relying on something that I call the one feeling formula. And the one feeling formula is when a guy thinks that the path to a woman's heart is to make her feel comfortable. He thinks the path to a woman's heart is to make her feel comfort. And that's it. He's relying on this one single emotion of comfort. Just one lonely flavor of emotion, comfort. And it's comfort, comfort, comfort over and over again. And look, you've probably done this yourself. You're in a conversation with a pretty girl and you just ask her a series of questions like, oh, so what do you do for work? Oh, okay, nice. You're a nurse? Oh, so what do you do for fun? Oh, really? Really, horseback riding. Do you have any pets? And when you just ask her questions like that again and again and again, what you're doing is you're creating a feeling of comfort in the girl. You're making her feel more comfortable around you. And the same goes with compliments as well. You're pretty, you're gorgeous, you're so cute. And what feeling that giving her compliments gives her is comfort. And that's what most conversations consist of, giving compliments and asking her questions to create comfort. But the problem here is when you focus on giving the girl comfort, you're basically telling the girl, I'm a harmless guy, I don't have a dick, I don't believe I'm on your level, I'm just a lowly man down here and you're up here as a woman, I gotta look up to you, and you're not giving her any butterflies. Instead, all you're giving her is politeness. It's kind of like you're just blending into the background like elevator music. And while her feeling comfort, I mean, comfort is certainly a nice feeling emotion, right? But that's all comfort is. It feels nice. But being nice doesn't get that woman fantasizing about you. Having her feel nice doesn't get that woman texting you at midnight to see if you're still awake. Having her feel nice doesn't get that younger woman grabbing you by the shirt and pulling you in for a kiss. Comfort all by itself is a little bit like cooking a meal with just one ingredient. Comfort all by itself is like playing a song with just one note. Comfort all by itself gets very, very boring because it's very predictable and it's completely forgettable. And the moment that younger woman senses that you're playing it too safe because you're just staying in the realm of comfort, that you're being too polite, she will just tune you out, and she's gonna put you right into the friend zone, where all the polite, very respectful, boring men go to die. So rather, what you need to do is you need to give a woman a symphony of different emotions through these psychological triggers that I'm about to give you, not just with comfort. And when she experiences these different things, you will become the guy that she cannot get out of her head. You will become the guy that she breaks all of her rules for. But look, if you want to fast track this entire process so you're dating the girls you really want in about 8 to 12 weeks, rather than spending years trying to figure it out on your own, you can go right here to youngerpartner.com. This is for those older guys who are ready to date the younger, stunning, beautiful girls they really want without all the stupid games. So I recommend you go there right now, or you're just gonna keep struggling like every other guy out there. All you gotta do is fill out a couple of quick questions, and I will coach you personally myself, one-on-one. And I have a 95% success rate getting men the woman they want. And we get that done for you fast. Now, what I'm gonna do next is show you how to create that spark in the girl that's really gonna hijack her nervous system. So before you can get a woman obsessing over you, before she's sitting at home replaying the entire interaction inside of her head like a favorite movie scene, there's one feeling you must excite in her, you must spark in her, one feeling. And that feeling you must start with her is charged excitement. Now, charged excitement here isn't like regular excitement, okay? It's not like, oh cool, he likes to watch the same TV show I do. Oh cool, he likes to walk his dog and I like to walk my dog. No, guys, charged excitement is what happens when there are sparks flying in the air. It's that internal jolt that makes your body say, whoa, who is this guy? So it's engagement plus spark plus challenge, where you're not aligning with the girl so much as interrupting her, where you are kicking the regular conversation out the door. You're taking the regular conversation and just throwing it out the window. And there's many different ways to create charged excitement with a girl, but every single one of them starts with one basic idea. They all start with the same premise. You have to stop playing it safe, gentlemen. You must start pressing her buttons. You must start teasing her a little bit, where you break rapport and you create tension on purpose, like challenging her. You know, you strike me as the type of girl with lots of red flags. Or teasing her. You look like trouble to me, girl. Or give an accusatory assumption. You look pretty exotic. I'm gonna say you're like half Mexican and half Italian, right? Or play fighting with her. Okay, you like the color blue? No. Everyone knows that red is by far the best color. Or asking her a challenging, evaluating question. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a handful are you really? Or making bold physical moves on the girl, like playfully nudging her shoulder or taking her by the hand and giving her a spin around. But all of these things do one simple thing, gentlemen, and that's disrupt her normal pattern of interaction, and they get her engaged. And charged excitement here really is that first emotional trigger that you're going for. Because before that woman can feel sexually aroused with you, before she can become emotionally invested, before she's going to get obsessed with you, first things first, gentlemen, you have to socially hook her first. And you know you've reached that social hook point with the girl once she's fully engaged with you, when she fully turns her body to face yours square on, when she's holding that sustained, ongoing, locked eye contact in your eyes, when she's got that big smile on her face, when she's maybe asking you a couple questions about yourself. That's how you know that she is now emotionally invested. That's how you know that you've flipped that switch on in her mind and the charged excitement has done its job. And look, if you know what you're doing, if you have some experience with this, you can reach that social hook point in just like a minute or two. So you don't have to focus very long on the charged excitement phase, right? And once you have charged excitement, once she is engaged, once you do have her full attention, then you can move on to these other psychological triggers that come next. Because charged excitement really is just that initial spark to get her engines revved up, right? And then the rest of these psychological triggers build on that initial spark until she's not just interested, but until she's hooked, until she's addicted, until she's obsessed with you. And that all starts with this initial charged excitement emotion. All right, now that you've got that girl's initial attention, how can you turn that initial spark into a full-blown fantasy between the two of you? Well, the next move that's really going to shift the dynamic, once you spark that initial fire with that charged excitement, now it's time to drop that second psychological trigger. And that second psychological trigger is flirting. It's the us together frame. Now, you don't want to confuse teasing her with flirting, okay? Flirting is different. Flirting is where that dynamic begins to shift, where instead of just challenging her and teasing her as a separate individual, now you shift to building a foundation of us together. Flirting introduces what I would call an us together frame, right? It's a playful, flirty fantasy bubble of you and her together, where you essentially hint to her, yeah, I mean, you and I could maybe be something together, girl. Where she stops thinking to herself, so who is this guy? And she starts wondering, do I see myself with this guy? What would it be like to be together with this guy? Where a relationship now becomes a real possibility. So as an example of flirting, you might tell the girl something like, you know, I like that you work at Starbucks. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hire you as my personal assistant, okay? You can make me coffee in the mornings. Yeah, I love those Starbucks coffees. Maybe you can fluff my pillows, you can cancel my meetings for me. Look, I'll pay you $2 an hour to start, okay? So you are playfully teasing her, but the playful tease is now about the two of you coming together. Or you might say to her, for example, oh my God, girl, we would be a total disaster together. Yeah, you'd just totally fall for me and I'd be teasing you nonstop. Definitely wouldn't work out. Again, you're teasing her now about you and her being together, where she starts envisioning what a relationship with you might look like. All right, gentlemen, here's the part that most guys screw up. Now, this is the trigger that turns her curiosity into a full-blown sexual craving. The third psychological trigger that flips a woman from merely being interested in you to being hooked and getting her sexually obsessed. And that trigger is sexual tension right here. And sexual tension is not the same as attraction. Sexual tension is that craving for something you want, but you can't quite have it. It's the denial. It's the impossibility. It's that friction. And that's what makes sexual tension such an addictive feeling to the girl. For example, imagine you're there at the bar all by yourself, and this cute, confident little girl, she comes up to you. She's got the pretty smile, the big bright eyes, the tiny little waist, that fantastic figure, and she just backs herself up on you, just nice, slow, and deliberate. Her hips just lightly brushing up against your crotch. Just enough pressure to send that jolt up your spine. And before you know it, now you're getting hard down here with this girl just undulating herself up and down on you. And you just want to grab her and bend her over and rip her clothes off, but you can't do it because there's other people around you. You're in a bar, so you gotta hold back. That right there, that feeling, my friend, is sexual tension. The wanting to act on your desire, but being blocked from doing so. And that's the feeling you wanna create in the woman as well. When she gets those little tingles up between her legs, when she starts fidgeting a bit or biting her lower lip, and she's feeling that sexual pull forward for something that she can't quite have. For example, instead of making out with the girl for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, which is going to break all the sexual tension because now you're giving that girl everything she wants, you're giving her all the attention, you're giving her all the validation. Instead, what you do is you kiss her only for 4 or 5 seconds, just long enough for her to kiss you back, and then you pull the kiss away. That's right, gentlemen, you're gonna pull the kiss away first. You're going to deny the girl the kiss. So it's like you're giving her a little hit of the drug and then you take it away. You might tell her something like, girl, don't get greedy now. And that, my friends, will shoot the sexual tension right through the roof. And building sexual tension, making her feel this is precisely how you get out of the friend zone, gentlemen. This is how you become that guy that she fantasizes about. See, when you become this guy that she wants to get that sexual release with, but it is denied to her, that is when she starts to crave you and starts to fantasize about you. So we got charged excitement here. That's that initial spark that gets her engaged. We got the flirting, we got the us frame. That's what makes her imagine the two of you coming together as one item. And we got sexual tension. And sexual tension is that slow burning, irresistible heat that makes her body light up with anticipation and makes her just want to rip your shirt off and hope that nobody's looking. And now you can see how you're giving her this emotional roller coaster of highs and lows and twists and turns that girl never saw coming. And when you can give her these feelings here, then no amount of money can really compete with this. And now you can see why making her feel comfortable asking her nice guy questions, giving her compliments can't compete either. And it's why most dudes are just so bland, predictable, and forgettable because they are not hitting all these triggers like you can. And look, I really don't care if you're twice her age. I don't care if you're not her type. I don't care if you're short or you got like a weird shaped nose, okay? None of that will matter if you know how to hit these triggers here, because you'll be giving that beautiful woman something that she's never experienced with any other man, where you become that one exception, where you become that one guy that can flip that switch in her brain that makes her say, this man is different. This is the most compelling. This is the most sexually charged man I've ever met. This is the most irresistible man I've ever met. And look, if you're an older guy yourself and you want to date beautiful younger women, say in their 20s and 30s, and you just want to fast track the entire process where you want to get an amazing girlfriend for yourself in just a matter of weeks, rather than spending months or years trying to figure it out on your own, go right here to youngerpartner.com. You can fill out a short application there and let's talk. And you can work with me personally one-on-one, where I will show you the exact steps I want you to follow from day to day to get that girlfriend you really want as fast as humanly possible. So you can end the loneliness and you can end the frustration once and for all. And we can get you that girl in a matter of weeks, rather than it taking years. And I've worked with hundreds of different men from all walks of life over the last 20 years, and I got a 95% success rate. So no matter what your situation or how old you are, maybe you're rusty or maybe you've just been out of the dating game for a long time, I can get you that girlfriend you've always wanted when we work together. Now, most guys will never make it this far, but if you do, your reward is going to be unleashed sexuality on the girl's part. So the next psychological trigger here is sexual comfort. And sexual comfort is when a woman feels like she can express her sexuality around you, but do it in a way without fear, without shame, and without judgment. Sexual comfort is when a woman feels like she can just open up to you. Open up to you about her kinks, talk to you about her sexual fantasies, talk to you about that wild night she had in college once, talk about that threesome she tried, talk about what she likes in bed. So it's when you are judging a woman, like when you think to yourself, well, she slept with a guy on a first date, she's a slut. Oh, that girl has a high body count, she's trash. Oh, she's into rough sex, that's a huge red flag, I'm gonna stay away from her. That kind of judgment on women's sexuality will kill all of the sexual comfort. Because now, even if she's into you, even if she does want to sleep with you, because you're so judging, she will want to hold back. She will hesitate. But when you become that one guy she meets who makes her feel safe to express her full sexuality without being labeled or shamed or her being criticized, now you have the potential to unlock the real her. Now you have the potential to unlock the gates to her most raw, uninhibited animal side. And when you allow that sexual part of herself to come out without fear of being judged, when you can build sexual comfort with her, that's precisely when you can sleep with her. So the bottom line is, gentlemen, if you fail to create sexual comfort with that girl, you might be the guy that she flirts with, but she won't sleep with because she doesn't feel that sexual comfort with you. But when she does feel sexually comfortable with you, now she's gonna tell you things about herself that she's never told anyone else. She's gonna explore things with you that she's been scared to admit she likes with other people. And she will give herself to you fully in the bedroom because you have made her feel sexually comfortable and sexually safe around you. All right, so let's tie it all together, gentlemen, because this is the part that flips her entire worldview upside down. First, we got the charged excitement. That's what's going to give her that initial jolt. That's going to get her engaged and grab her attention. Then we've got the flirting, the us together frame. That's going to make it about the two of you together. Then you're going to turn up the heat here with the sexual tension. That's going to get that craving going, going to make her horny where she's just wanting it. And then finally, we got the sexual comfort. That's what's going to make her feel comfortable being naked in front of you and expressing her most private desires to you. And look, gentlemen, once you can pull her through these different emotional triggers, I don't care if you got a peg leg for a peg. I don't care if you're wearing an eye patch and you got a parrot on your shoulder. I don't care if you got big old boogers coming out of your nose, because none of that stuff will matter anymore, because now you've tapped into her deeper emotional wiring. Now you've made her feel things that no other man has ever made her feel before. You've hit her with the exact sequence that turns a woman's brain and her body into this burning furnace of desire. So you could be rocking the dad jeans, you could be 3 decades older than her, and it will not matter. And here's the truth that most men are just never gonna understand and why they keep failing. Women don't sleep with men because of their looks. Women don't sleep with men because of their money. Women sleep with men because of how those men make them feel. And when you can hit these different emotional triggers I've just given you, now you become irresistible, no matter what your outer package looks like or how old you are. All right, guys, since you enjoyed this video and all this content, watch this video next. This is a special hug, a special greeting hug you can give a girl that will instantly turn her on. That's instantly gonna get her horny. Now, you gotta greet the girl anyway when you see her, right? So why give her this lame business-like handshake or be like, hi there, and get yourself put into the friend zone? Instead, give her this hug that will instantly turn her on. And you can use this on a first date, with a work colleague, with a classmate, with a girl you're crushing on. Again, you gotta greet her anyway, so why not turn her on while you do it? So go watch that video right now.